Oliver was about to sell his rabbit, the only precious thing he had in this world.
I'm sorry, Bunny. I'm so sorry.
The tears streaming down his cheeks were a sign of his inner struggle, a conflict between love for his cherished rabbit and the pressing need for a few silver coins so that he can buy food for himself and his ill father. Their survival depended on whatever few silver coins he could negotiate. It all began in a little village. There was a poor man who earned his living by working in the fields. His wife had been dead a good while, and he had only one son, that was Oliver. Oliver's father was not a strong man. He was often ill and not able to work, and on those days that he couldn't work, he earned no money. Oliver did his best to help his father. He would go on errands and carry messages for the farmers who lived near, and sometimes he would pick the potatoes up and put them into baskets after they were dug out of the ground. With each passing year, the father and his son became poorer and poorer, no matter how hard they seemed to work. Their clothes were poor and dirty and old. They slept on nothing but a little straw and one old blanket to cover both of them. Many times they had nothing to eat. They hardly ever tasted meat. Many days they would survive on nothing but brown bread and water. Oliver never complained. What got him through many of the tough days was his dear rabbit, his only companion. It was as white as snow, and its hair was as soft as silk. And although Oliver had so little food to eat, he often shared it with his rabbit. Whenever Oliver had a piece of bread, he would go with it into the garden and sit down on the ground and call Bunny. The rabbit would go to him and jump on his lap and eat with him. Oliver's rabbit played with him tirelessly and followed him about the house and about the garden, just like a dog. It was a bond like no other. One day, as Oliver was gathering potatoes in a field, a storm came by and it rained relentlessly. Oliver had no other choice but to keep on working, or else they would have no food that day. He became wet through and through, and as he had no other clothes to put on, he had to let the wet clothes dry upon him. He would end up catching a very bad cold. The next day he was too ill to get up. He had a pain in his head, pain in his legs, a sore throat, and a fever. Oliver's rabbit sat by him all day and night, and it would lick his hands and sit with its little nose close to his cheek. The father was very sick himself and had no money or friends. Oliver's work was the only source of income for the two. It would be several days before Oliver could recover enough to be able to move again. But by now they had no bread at all, and the father's medicine had run out. Oliver needed to earn some money and fast to get urgent medicine and food to his ill father. Oliver knew it deep down inside. He had to sell his beloved rabbit. It was either that or his poor father's condition would deteriorate rapidly without food and medicine. Full of agony, tears, and with a heavy heart, he made his way to the village market. He was about to sell his rabbit, the only precious thing he had in this world. The tears streaming down his cheeks were a sign of his inner struggle, a conflict between love for his cherished rabbit and the pressing need for a few silver coins so that he can buy food for himself and his ill father. Their survival depended on whatever few silver coins Oliver could negotiate. Determined to help his ailing father, he walked towards the bustling market square, cradling his beloved white rabbit in his arms. The sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets. The market was filled with the chatter of traders haggling and the vibrant colors of various goods on display. As Oliver approached the traders, he felt a mixture of nervousness and sadness. He approached the first trader, a stout man with a weathered face, and explained his situation.
My father is very ill, and I need to sell my rabbit to buy food and medicine. Please, sir, could you offer a fair price?
The trader eyed Oliver and the rabbit before gruffly offering a meager sum. Disheartened, Oliver moved on to the next trader, repeating his plea. However, the response was similar. Most traders were reluctant to part with their silver coins, offering only a fraction of what the rabbit was worth. As Oliver negotiated with various traders, his initial optimism waned. The weight of desperation hung heavy on his shoulders. He felt defeated, realizing that the traders were taking advantage of his vulnerable situation. Tears welled up in his eyes as he clutched the rabbit tightly. Unbeknownst to Oliver, a wealthy man in elegant attire had overheard his conversations with the traders. Intrigued, the man approached Oliver and asked,
What seems to be troubling you, young man?
Oliver, wiping away his tears, explained the dire circumstances he and his father faced. He spoke of his father's illness and the urgent need for food and medicine. The compassionate gaze of the wealthy man softened, and he felt a genuine concern.
I cannot stand by and watch a good-hearted boy suffer. Come with me, and we shall find a solution to your troubles.
Together, they approached the traders once more. The wealthy man, with authority in his voice, addressed them.
Gentlemen, this young man is in dire need. His father is gravely ill, and he's here to sell his rabbit to buy necessities. I implore you to offer a fair price, for it's not just a rabbit he carries, but the hope for his father's recovery."
The traders, under the influence of the rich man's presence, began to reconsider. Some offered better prices, moved by compassion, or perhaps the desire to impress the affluent onlooker. Oliver strangely and incredibly began receiving fair offers for his beloved rabbit. He took the best one and thanked the wealthy man. With the fair sum of silver coins in his pouch, Oliver hurried to buy food and medicine for his father. After doing so, he then headed back home. As Oliver approached their small, humble dwelling, he could see the flickering light of the fire within. He burst through the door, eager to bring relief to his father. Oliver gently placed the provisions on the worn table. Just seeing his father's smile of appreciation meant the world to young Oliver. Days turned into nights, and Oliver tended to his father with unwavering devotion. The nourishing food and medicine began to take effect, and the color returned to his father's cheeks. The once feeble figure gained strength, and a spark of life rekindled in his eyes. Then one day, a knock echoed through the door. Startled, Oliver opened it to find the wealthy man, the savior from the market, standing before him. His benevolent gaze met Oliver's, and he spoke with a reassuring smile.
"I've come to see how your father is doing."
Oliver welcomed the wealthy man inside, expressing his gratitude for the unexpected help he had received. However, the man's true intentions soon became apparent.
"I heard that your rabbit was a dear companion to you, and I couldn't stand to see you part with it. So I took the liberty of buying it back for you."
It turned out that after Oliver had left the market that afternoon, the wealthy man bought back Oliver's rabbit from the trader to which Oliver had sold his rabbit. Stunned, Oliver couldn't believe his ears. The wealthy man had not only repurchased the rabbit, but had also brought a beautiful rabbit hutch and another white rabbit as a gift.
"Consider this a token of my admiration for your courage and compassion, young Oliver. You sacrificed your most beloved possession for your father's well-being, and that deserves recognition."
The small room filled with warmth and gratitude as Oliver realized the significance of this unexpected turn of events. The wealthy man explained,
"Raising rabbits can be a source of prosperity. They multiply quickly, providing not only companionship, but also a means of income. You've started a journey, young Oliver, and I believe it will lead to prosperity."
Overwhelmed with emotion, Oliver thanked the wealthy man for his incredible generosity. The once small sacrifice of his beloved rabbit had blossomed into an opportunity for a brighter future. Oliver, with tears of joy in his eyes, could see the lesson life had taught him. Do good with a pure heart, and life will surely return to you, multiplied that good, along with blessings and unexpected abundance.